Okay, so let's unpack this one. We're diving into, well, it's a pretty sobering stack of sources today, but really insightful. It all starts with a public records request, actually, from a true crime media company. But it quickly gets much deeper, looking at a specific criminal case out of Georgia.
Right. And what's really illuminating, I think, is how these documents let us piece together the whole story, the entire arc of the investigation and the consequences. So our mission, really, for this deep dive is to understand that timeline, the charges involved, and especially these incredibly strict conditions you see in child exploitation cases. We're pulling from that records request, but also official court sentencing documents and detailed police investigation notes.
Okay, so where did this particular trail really begin? How did it kick off?
It started with a cyber tip. That came in on April 23, 2020. It was from the GDI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, through the ICCAP program. Internet crimes against children. It's a national network tackling this stuff. And the tip basically said that 326 explicit photos of children had been uploaded from an IP address. And this IP address was linked to a Joshua David Stapleton in Cartersville, Georgia. Some uploads went back as far as January 2018.
Wow. Okay, so a digital clue. How quickly did they connect that IP address to, a real person?
Very fast, actually. Investigators identified this Joshua David Stapleton pretty quickly. He was 39 at the time, and the records showed him as an agent, an owner, actually, for a state farm office there in Cartersville. They started surveillance right away and got a search warrant for his electronics.
And the search warrant, they executed it the same day. Did they talk to him then?
Yeah, same day the warrant was issued. They found him at home. He was apparently just about to leave for Florida for a week-long trip to a condo. He agreed to speak with them without a lawyer present.
Okay, and what did he say? Did he deny it?
Well, he admitted viewing the images, but his explanation was, he said he just clicked on a series of links. Clicked on links.
Right.
And then, really disturbingly, when they asked him if the images bothered him, he apparently said, "People are people and bodies are bodies. We are all the same."
That's quite a statement.
It is. And maybe the most surprising part, he claimed he didn't think viewing child pornography was actually against the law.
Wait, really? He claimed he didn't know it was illegal. How does the legal system even deal with that kind of claim?
That's a really key point. It often points to some significant cognitive distortions, offenders rationalizing things. But the legal system tends to focus on the act itself, the objective evidence. Did the action happen? And in this case, the investigation moved forward. He eventually pleaded guilty. That was June 24th, 2025. He pleaded guilty to 20 counts. Sexual exploitation of children.
20 counts in the sentence.
Total sentence was 20 years, but it's structured. 5 years to be served in confinement, and then the remaining 15 years are on probation. And interestingly, he only got credit for 2 days already served.
15 years of probation. So what does that actually look like for him and I guess for public safety? What does that mean for you, the listener, to understand?
It means incredibly strict supervision, long-term. It's all about risk management and prevention. The special conditions are really extensive. You can kind of break them down. First, there are strict rules about contact with kids. Absolutely no unsupervised contact with anyone under 18. That includes his own children unless the court specifically approves it. Any contact at all, even at home or social things, needs an approved adult chaperone who knows his history.
Okay, so very tight controls on personal interaction.
Yeah.
What else? Digital stuff.
Exactly. Huge focus on digital and media. He cannot have or even look at any sexually explicit visual media of minors, period. No subscribing to explicit magazines or websites, no visiting adult entertainment places. His whole online world is basically monitored.
And beyond just blocking access, is there active monitoring?
Oh, yes. Very intrusive monitoring. He has to agree to searches of himself, his home, his car, anytime, no warrant needed. He can also be forced to take polygraph tests, lie detectors, and even plethysmograph tests.
Plethysmograph. What's that?
It's a physiological test. It's sometimes used in these cases to measure sexual arousal patterns, basically to help with treatment and assessing risk, and he has to pay for these tests himself.
Wow. Okay, so contact rules, digital bans, intrusive testing, anything else? Lifestyle things.
Yep. Quite a few. He has to keep a driving log, release all his medical and treatment records, even to the victim's therapist if requested. He's also banned from alcohol, any drugs not prescribed, owning firearms, He can't even hitchhike.
It's incredibly comprehensive. And you mentioned these records are public, so this wasn't just kept within the legal system.
Not at all. The public nature meant it spilled out, We even saw in the source documents his wife responding online to what she called misinformation spreading around. It just shows how wide the ripples go in these cases.
So, reflecting on all this, what really stands out to you? Going from that initial digital tip all the way to these incredibly detailed long-term conditions.
I think it's just the sheer scope of those post-release conditions. It's so comprehensive. From his online life to every personal interaction, it really highlights this major societal focus, maybe a shift, towards, aggressively monitoring and trying to prevent reoffense in child exploitation cases, potentially for decades. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How effective are these super rigorous, almost lifelong conditions for actual rehabilitation versus just long-term risk management? And what's it actually like for someone to live under that kind of intense scrutiny for, 15, 20 years or more?
I want to start off by saying that you are absolutely allowed to post anything that is public record, such as mugshots, indictments, court documents, anything like that, and give your opinion. But what you're not allowed to do is post anything that is a false statement that is damaging to someone's reputation. And I've seen a lot of it, so I'm going to set the record straight. But if I continue to see it, naturally, I'm going to have to take legal action because it's absolutely illegal. Now, this brings me to the first question I continuously keep seeing. Maybe she didn't know, or did she know? Do we think she knew? How did she not know? Absolutely, I knew. Josh and I were friends way before we ever started dating. So when the charges occurred, we were friends. You better believe I hit him up because as soon as I saw it, I have a really good judge of character, and I knew something was up. I knew that was not Josh. We had already been on several trips together beforehand. I'd spent pretty close time with this guy, and I was like, something's wrong here. Josh was absolutely upfront with me about everything in the charges. There were no secrets. So that leads me to the next point. I continuously see things that say he lied to her and told her that his ex-wife set him up. Well, let's cover a couple things. One, I'm Josh's first wife. He has never been married before. Two, Josh has never blamed any ex relationship for these charges. He has never spoken badly about an ex. Next thing is that people are saying that he lied to me and he told me that he purchased a laptop or a computer off of Facebook Marketplace and the images were already on there. Josh has never told me that, nor have I ever been around him telling anyone that. The next question I continuously see is, do people with children or friends with children know about the charges? Absolutely. A, it's been all over the internet. If you didn't know, you just didn't know. But B, we have never in our lives been at someone's house around someone's children and not let them know ahead of time because we don't want anything to ever look sketchy. So we've always been absolutely upfront with everyone. And guess what? A lot of these people have our backs because they have personally witnessed Josh around their children and know that there's no issue. Next one. How was Josh allowed to leave the state of Georgia if he were out on bond? Okay, he was out on bond for 5 years. He followed all of his guidelines. He was not a flight risk. He did not lose his passport. He has not been in previous trouble to stop him from going anywhere. So yeah, he was allowed to live wherever he wanted as long as he reported it to the bail bondsman. And he did. He followed up every single time he was supposed to. So there was nothing illegal going on there about where we live and our living situations. Next thing, I keep getting screenshots where people are saying Josh had child images on his work laptop. False. Josh could not possibly have that on his work laptop because if you have ever worked for a corporation or any big company or anything along those lines, you know how secure those computers are. So that is a false statement. This one, it's up for grabs. You're welcome to talk about it all day. People keep saying we were living fake lives. There was nothing fake about it. It was our life. I mean, we're just living like we always do. Anyone who is around us or has been around us on a normal day knows that was just us. We are still happy. He and I have no issues. He has been fully transparent and honest with me. Therefore, I know everything. I have been to court. I know everything. I can assure you that nothing about us was fake. People continuously say their lavish lifestyle was over. They thought they were such a power couple. all these things. Josh and I would never consider our lives lavish by any stretch of the means. If you know us, you know most of the time when we travel, we stay at a Holiday Inn. Our boat that everyone calls a yacht, 2005 model. We are not living some crazy lavish lifestyle that we are funding from child images. That is very far-fetched. Think before you speak. Family money got Josh out of this, and that's why he's not having to serve much time. Look up the charges. Look up the amount of time that a person serves. That's false. What you're saying is a false statement. There is no family money getting us through anything. Another one. Brittany doesn't want children because she knows that Josh is a child predator. If you know me, or if you've ever known me at any period of my life, you will know that since age 12, I have never wanted children. Not interested in having children, never have been. She's deleting comments. She's deleting and blocking anyone who says things that aren't nice. Duh, wouldn't you? Why would I sit there on my page and allow people to try to tear me apart? Think about that. No, I'm not going to do that. So yeah, if you're hateful to me on my page, absolutely, you're blocked. If I see you commenting on someone else's page and you know me personally, blocked. Simple as that. My page, my rules. And last thing, before I end on a positive note, because that's just who I am, let's talk about mental health. It is so fun to get views off these videos. I've seen all the true crime girls, their videos. I've seen it all. I've seen people posting multiple videos because they got excited, because they got the most views they've ever had, whatever. It is not the best thing in the world to profit off someone else's worst moment. I am one of the most mentally tough people you'll ever meet. Been through hell. Been through a lot in my life. I'm pretty mentally tough. Not everyone is. So I'm glad you guys chose me for this and to give me hell. Like I didn't just go through the worst week of my life. Like I did not just lose my best friend. But I would say, think about that. Think really hard, because it would be really difficult to sleep at night if you were the cause for someone not to be on this earth. So say what you want to say. Send me my death threats and send me all these messages. You can't hurt my feelings. You can't cancel me because this was never a job. It was only for fun for us. We just enjoyed posting our memories and travels. But think really, really deeply before you post the things you do and you profit off someone else's life just to get your 10,000 extra followers and hundreds of thousands of views. Think about it. And most of all, maybe think about reaching out to that person to see if they are even legally allowed to speak on the case before you do so. Because otherwise, you're just allowed to say whatever you want, and they may not necessarily be able to respond. Just something to think about. And because our account has never been negative, and we have always been a strictly positive account, I'm going to bring you guys your favorite part of us. And it's our boy Carlos. The one getting me through all this. And if anything has given me a good laugh, I would say it would be the people like, if you do anything with Carlos, I'll take him. Carlos ain't going nowhere. This is my child. This is my baby. Nothing is happening to Carlos. He's going to be with me forever. So thank y'all for loving him, even when you hate us. I appreciate it. And we might be back soon. Might not. And most of all, yes, I'll keep the comments to the people.